Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the United Regional Chambers update. We try and give you some different subjects every week that hopefully will help you. And if there's any subjects that you'd like to hear about, please don't hesitate to reach out to us here at the Chamber of Commerce, and we'll be glad to line that up. My guest this week is Tommy Hickey. He's the director of the Right to Repair Coalition. This coalition has about 1,600 independent repair shops and parts stores across Massachusetts, and it's a ballot initiative that's going to be coming up in November. I know it's a little ways away, but it's something that's very important to all of the local repair shops and parts stores around, and I thought we'd bring Tommy Hickey on to explain to us what this is all about. So, Tommy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jack, for having me. Like you said, this is a very important issue, and I'm glad we could get on here to talk about it. Those of you who should be familiar with this, if you haven't, in 2012, we passed the Right to Repair law. It's the first Right to Repair law in the country. It was done in Massachusetts. It passed at 86%. And what happened in 2012 was it mandated that car manufacturers give all independent repair shops the same information they gave to the dealerships, which most importantly leveled the playing field between independent repair shops and dealerships, but most importantly got consumers the right to choose where they take their car for their repairs. It kept your local business going and level playing field, and most importantly, people didn't have to pay, out of their pocket too much for the dealerships. So fast forward 8 years, technology has evolved. There is a loophole. There is a flaw in the law that doesn't cover any wireless information, diagnostic repair information. And as you know, we're moving towards a wireless society, so we need to close the loophole in that law and mandate that car manufacturers give the car owners and then independent repair shops all diagnostic repair information so they can continue to fix their car where they want.
And this wasn't passed in the original bill?
So there was a carve out in the law. The car manufacturers knew where they were going with technology. They knew that they were moving to this wireless system. They do call it telematics. And there's a carve out in the law that says this will not have to do with telematics. And in 2012, we didn't know what telematics was or what it was capable of. Like most technologies started in its infancy. And in 2020, it's in about 90% of new cars. And it's a system that the car manufacturers are using to circumvent the law and create a monopoly over the repair market.
Well, can you tell us a little bit, what is telematics?
So telematics is wireless communications. I think the easiest way to think about it is right now when you go into a car, you plug in to an OBD port with a scan tool. You plug it in, and then the scan tool reads all the information about the car and diagnoses the car. It's no different right now with the headphones that I have on right now. Right now, I'm plugging into the phone. But as you know, most new phones, they have Bluetooth. They're wireless. So these cords would be gone, and there's no law mandating that car manufacturers have to give you any diagnostic repair information wirelessly. And so that's why we need to close the law, because we know we're moving to a wireless society, and the Right to Repair law, the spirit of the Right to Repair law, needs to reflect that.
Well, it wasn't covered in the law, but how does this affect my car?
So if you have a new car, you're not going to be able to get your car fixed where you want because your independent repair shop will not have any of the wireless communications. The car manufacturers will have a complete monopoly over the repair information, and your independent repair will have no access. So this will go to a car manufacturer and then to a dealership, and you'll be right into the dealership even after your warranty expires.
Well, so I couldn't, if I'm having a little trouble, I couldn't go to my local, like Aiken's Garage is one of our members, and we do a lot with them. I couldn't go down and speak to them there, and they couldn't repair it?
If you have a new car, they will have no access to any of the wireless information. And as I said, the OBD port, the old way of plugging into the OBD port, that's on the way out. And by 2020, so this year, 90% of new cars will have the capability. I mean, in 2012, a lot of independent repair shops went under. They couldn't handle the pricing of car manufacturers. They weren't getting the information. So we need to start this now as these cars start to get on more online and consumers are buying new cars, which we know they will. The law needs to reflect the new technologies in cars and make sure that, as they did in 2012, consumers can choose where they get their car repaired.
Well, I know this is coming up, in the November elections. What does this ballot initiative do?
So what this ballot initiative does is it gives the owner all diagnostic and repair information generated by their car. In 2012, we mandated that car manufacturers give dealerships and independent repairers the same information. And there's still some problems with that law. Independent repairers still have issues. There's firewalls put up on OBDs. There's always a way that the car manufacturers make it difficult. So in this piece of legislation, this gives the car owner all the diagnostic repair information. Our coalition believes it's your car, you bought it, you should fix it where you want. And in order to do so, there should be a law that mandates that car manufacturers give you all the diagnostic or repair information generated by your car in a mobile application. And then you can choose where that information goes. So the way it would work is that you would get an update on your mobile app, and it would say, hey, you have an issue with your car. Where would you like to send this information? And it would show up, and you could send all that information, diagnostic repair information, to your trusted independent repair and get your car fixed where you want.
So in other words, I would have an app on my phone.
Yep.
And I'd have an issue with the car, or would they send me a link update saying that, listen, you have a problem with the car, or do I have to type something in and say, hey, my car is making a funny noise. What do I do?
So technology has gone to a point now. You used to have a check engine light. You didn't know what was wrong with your car. You would just go to your local shop.
Right.
Or you would go to a dealership. And now technology has evolved into where an application can tell you exactly what's going on with your car. So the way this application would work, and the app has not been created yet. This is the framework needed to create the app. The app would say, there's something wrong with your car. Where would you like to send this? For me, I have a local independent repairer that I go to for all my repairs. I know him. I trust him. I know he's not going to beat around the bush and try me to buy a new car. So what this would do would be allow me to share that information. And really what's happening right now, Jack, is that cars are being diagnosed remotely. So what this would do is that I could send this information to my independent repairer, and he would, in real time, diagnose the car. So what car manufacturers are doing is they're diagnosing the car in real time, sending it to the dealerships, and dealerships are reaching out to you and trying to pull you into the dealership for your car repair, which is much more expensive, as we know, as the independent repair. And the independent repair has no access to that. So that's an unlevel playing field, and consumers are going to pay the price for it.
Well, I know everybody's concerned these days of hackers and scammers and things like that. Would this app, would that have any personal information except for, your ownership of the car?
No, this is all about diagnostic repair information. The car manufacturers are using a scare tactic to say your independent repairer will have your GPS location to hack the car. They've actually even used billboards to make it out that independent repairers are hoodlums and evil people, which we found very offensive, to be honest. And this is about diagnostic repair information that goes directly to the car owner. The car owner would get that information and then send it to an independent repair. That is up to the car owner where that information goes. And there are a number of cybersecurity experts that we've spoken with that this can be done securely. The last thing is that this legislation, this ballot initiative, calls for the car manufacturers to create this system in a secure way. So they have no problem to protect this information now. They should have no problem creating a system right now that is protected and standardized across all makes and models.
Yeah, I know that I get solicited, from a couple of the dealers around, if something comes up in the car, the airbag or something like that. And
Right.
As you mentioned, unfortunately, it is much more expensive to have your car serviced on a regular basis at the car dealership compared to some of your, the local independent folks.
That's right.
I myself was in the car business 100 years ago, in the sales end of it and the finance end of it. And I know dealerships are expensive to operate and run. And especially with the slowdown that we've had for the past couple of months, they're definitely going to be looking to increase their revenue somehow. And through repairs is one of the biggest areas that they can, regain some of that revenue.
Absolutely. It's even more important now. So
what can the general public do to support this initiative?
Well, telematics is an unknown technology. Not a lot of people know what's happening in their car. They know manufacturers are collecting real-time information about their car. So one of the major things, like I said, in 2012, Massachusetts voted in 86%. That's the highest passing ballot initiative in Massachusetts history. We always joke you can't get 9 out of 10 people to agree on anything. But for car repair choice consumers agree that they want to fix their car where they want since they're paying for it. They bought the car. And so this is an update to that law. And I think people understand that technology is moving in a direction. And I do want to say this is a great technology. This is a great technology that car owners can find out exactly what's wrong with their car. They can share with the press of a button their independent repair. They can price the job. They can schedule a part. This is for more competition. This keeps the market alive. And most importantly, it allows for consumers to shop around for the best price. If they do not do this, your only option will be the dealership, and we're going to have to pay more for it. So this is just a fight for your right to repair, just like we did in 2012. Update the law for new technology so you can continue to shop and get your car fixed where you want.
If we were to, all of us support you and vote for this in November, how long will it take before the whole process, pans out?
So the legislation calls for makes and models of 2022, model year 2022, which is when the legislation with the car manufacturers would have to adopt this. There's always a negotiation involved in this. This could happen sooner, this could happen later, but right now this calls for model year 2022.
So anything, model year 21 and back should still be safe.
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to get your car fixed where you want. They haven't totally moved to a wireless system. But like I said, as we know, I'm looking at these headphones. I'm one of the last people to ever have these wired headphones. We're moving to the wireless, and it's no different than if you had to get a different headphone for every song you wanted to listen to. That's what car manufacturers are doing. They're trying to create the monopoly that they had in 2012 over diagnostic repair information.
Well, and you did mention it earlier, when this first happened, we lost a lot of small independent repair shops and parts stores.
That's right.
And, the chambers, we're all about small business, and we want to make sure that they survive and thrive. So I know that you'll have, the support from myself, and hopefully, we've educated some of the local folks to this issue, and that they can give this some support too. Is there any last thoughts that you might have for us, Tom?
All I'd say is that it's your car. You bought it. You should get it fixed where you want. I urge people to go to our website, massrighttorepair.org, learn about this. This is a new technology that's relatively unknown, as I said, and the more you know about it, the more you know what's being collected and your options. And we believe this legislation is the best way to empower the consumer, keep your local business. And there's 30,000 aftermarket jobs in Massachusetts. And we want consumers to be able to choose where they get their car repaired. And that's the most important thing. So fight for your car repair choice and vote yes on Right to Repair come November.
Great. Tommy Hickey from Right to Repair, thank you very much for joining me on the show this week. Hopefully that we can get you, drum up a little bit of support for this initiative, and keep all consumers in charge of their own fate, so to speak, when it comes to their cars, because we know how expensive car repairs can be.
That's right.
So,
thanks, Jack.
Once again, Tommy, thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, thanks for joining us this week on the United Regional Chambers Update. If you hadn't had a chance to take a look at the video that AACS put out yesterday, we had a very successful parade around Sturdy Hospital to support the staff. Dave Angel and AACS partnered with us with Kevin Cryan from Cryan Landscape. And we had, I was a little surprised. I expected maybe 30 or 40 vehicles. We had over 100 vehicles that came and showed up to show their support for Sturdy Hospital. So thank you once again for joining us on the show this week, and hopefully we'll see you in future shows. Thanks, and everybody be safe.